speaker. She is from Oneonta. She did not attend her high school graduation. I'm looking to see if all these are correct. All right. She is going to Mount Holyoke in fall. She is currently working at a camp in Vermont and drove all the way here just to speak to you guys. She enjoys flying, robotics, and debating. She is certified in 3 different types of scuba diving. Did you know there were 3? Cool. She enjoys making her own clothing. And she was a member of the recently retired Ross County. Now introducing our 2012 Governor of Empire Girls State, Charlotte Mckane.
Okay, can the people in the back give me a wave if you can hear me? Excellent. Okay, so hopefully my speech will be more interesting than my introduction. It'll be hard to do, but let's see if we can do it. Okay. So first off, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who makes Girls State possible. Big round of applause. You guys are sitting here today because people in your communities think that you are excellent leaders and think you have the potential to be exemplary citizens. And you do. Everyone does. All you need to do that is have the confidence and self-assurance to try. When I got home from Girls State last year, I was talking to my friends, and one of them asked, why isn't Girls State co-ed? And before I had a chance to reply, the other friend I was with said, well, if it was co-ed, it would just be boys' state. Which is a better reply than what I was going to say. I was going to talk about the history of Girls State, and it's really boring. But it's true. We've all sat in classes where boys participate in discussions and girls sit back and don't. Now, that's never been a problem for me. I'm the kid in class who needs to be told to stop talking. I'm the one who always shares their opinion, even if it's not related. So I'm sure that there are some of you here like me in that sense. But I'm sure there are a lot of you who aren't. The thing about Girls State is that it is all girls. Girls comes first. And this is important because when we look around into the world, we see that 80% of all government officials are men. Within the United States, that number is about the same. We have 20 female senators, a record number in the Senate. Out of 100 is 20%. Those are a little slow with the math. And you're welcome. In there. And in the House, we have 78 female representatives, which is, this math's a little bit harder. So 78 out of 435 is 17.9%, which is lower in the Senate. So those numbers are the same throughout the world. Now, the question begs as to why. We have had the right to vote. We as women have had the right to vote for almost 100 years. We're coming up on the 100th anniversary very, very soon. But we're still only making up a fifth of a representation at the national government level. Now, I don't need to tell you that that isn't because men make up 80% of the population, right? It's supposed to be half and half. So what's the difference? Well, there was a study done a couple years ago. They took 3 fourth grade classes and used one as a control group. The other class, one of the other classes, they showed a video about how women are succeeding in math and science careers. Had women talking about being in the engineering field, being a mathematician. Then they showed the other test group a video about how women's brains are shaped differently than men's brains, and women are not as good at spatial reasoning, and this leads to them not being as good in science and math fields. Then they gave all 3 classes a test on math and science. And lo and behold, the girls that saw the video about how women are succeeding in math and science did way better than the girls who had to watch a video about how women are biologically inferior as far as spatial reasoning and other math and science concepts. So what does that tell us? Expectation predicts outcomes. If we tell girls that they're bad at math and science, if we tell women that politics is not the place for them, Girls will be bad at math and science, and politics will not be a place for women. The expectations we set for ourselves as women and the expectations society sets for us as women are markedly different than those expectations we set for men. And that leads to different outcomes. Even if we have the same legal rights, if we expect different things of each other, we will get different results. Go into a grocery store, go to the checkout aisle, and look at what's on the cover of magazines. It's not 10 brain games to keep you sharp on your next date. It's not 8 ways to ask your boss for a raise. And it's certainly not 10 ways to spot a misogynist. What it is are 10 ways to keep slim for summer. 8 different ways to apply your makeup. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised that women are more obsessed with the beauty, more obsessed with looking like an item to be consumed, a commodity, than as active participants, be it in politics or any other arena. So, telling you that sexism exists is pretty obvious, right? I mean, we all know that, we all see it. Maybe we get it from teachers, maybe we get it where we work. It's a reality, unfortunately, of our lives. And just talking about sexism isn't enough to undo it, because we all have internalized sexism. How many of you would have run for an office if this was a co-ed camp? Great, I'm glad you're all really cheeky and raising your hands, that's excellent. I would have as well. But I would have been a lot more nervous and a lot more anxious about getting up and giving a speech in front of a co-ed audience. I would have been more nervous to run against a boy, to run against a guy, than I would be to run against a girl. Why? Why? I know that gender doesn't determine ability. I know that. We all know that, right? Yeah. But that's not enough to undo the feeling that we are less than. It's not enough to undo the feeling that somehow our brains aren't the right shape, or somehow that 20% is what we should have. That somehow the Harvard dean who misspoke and said that maybe women just aren't as good at math and science, maybe he's right in some way. Maybe we're going to look for biological answers. Maybe we're going to look for social answers. But we have that inside of our heads, no matter how often we look in the mirror and tell ourselves, you are just as good as all those guys in your English class. You are just as good as all those guys in your physics class. You know what? You're better. You're better than all the guys in your English class. You're better than all the guys in your English class. Sexism. That is not what my speech is supposed to be about. My speech is supposed to be about Girls' State, and it is. Girls' State is important because it is a direct infusion of empowerment. This is an environment where you are not only given the opportunity to take part in a male-dominated field, to take part in politics and government. You're not only given that opportunity, you are encouraged. Your house mothers are asking you, what are you running for? What are your policies? What are you writing bills about? Are you working? What are you doing? It's important. You need to do this. Tom or Jerry or Bill from your English class isn't going to get to step up and take control of the group project this time. That's not going to happen. We're going to do it, we're going to do it right, and we're going to create a state on our own. You don't have to look very far to find a government completely controlled by men. You do have to look very hard, and you will not find a government completely controlled by women. This is an incredibly unique opportunity for you. You are surrounded by fellow girls who are just as smart, just as driven, and who want the same things. And together you're going to get them. Before this week is over, you will successfully create a 51st state. You're going to do that. You're going to hear from some amazing role models in your house mothers and from other speakers who are going to be up here at this podium. And that is invaluable. We can talk about how sexism is bad. We can talk about equality. We can talk about feminism. For the record, you are all feminists because you believe that women and men are equal, and that is all there is to feminism. This is how you undo that internalized sexism. This is how you undo it. It's not enough to tell it to yourself. It's not enough to say it. It's not enough to hear me say it. It's not enough for me to say you're equal. What is enough is for you to be empowered by this program, for you to take away inspiration and confidence to be able to do it on your own and do it better. That's what this program is about. That's why I'm so pleased to be invited back to speak here today. Because this is important. This is how we change things in our society, by giving girls an opportunity and by watching them run with it. Thank you.